Hello friends, I welcome you all to this online session of a compulsory English BSc Part 3. In the last session, I have screened the one video on your Telegram group. It was an introduction of Sherman Alexie or interview of Sherman Alexie. Instead of reading about Sherman Alexie or trying to know about Sherman Alexie from secondary sources, I feel that you should read or you should listen the interview of Sherman Alexie and try to understand the real person. And for that purpose, I posted you one interview of Sherman Alexie. And through this interview, if you listen it carefully, you will understand many things about Sherman Alexie. As I told you while reading another comprehensive unit, reading comprehension unit, that whenever we came across an abstract, whenever we came across a short story, poem, novel, we must understand or we must think in terms of the author. Who is the author of the text also becomes important, because when we think about the author or when we consider the author, means we will considering a specific socio-cultural milieu in which the text is produced, in which the poem is produced, and this socio-cultural milieu influences the meaning making of the text. So there are several things: social, cultural, philosophical, political things in that particular period that influences, that inspires, that motivates the author to write a poem, write a novel, write a short story. So if we want to understand the most probable meaning of the poem, if we want to understand the most probable meaning of the short story, we must understand the author and his particular sociocultural meaning. So after understanding the context of the poem, after understanding the context in which the text is produced, we can very easily understand what is written in it. We can easily understand the most probable meaning of it. So therefore, it is important to note that here, uh, in this case of understanding a poem, Evaluation by Sherman Alexie, we must know that Sherman Alexie is a poet, uh, or who is writing about Native Americans. We must understand the clash between Americans and Native Americans, how the different migrant groups occupy the land of America, and they not only occupy the land of America, but at the same time they also exploit the Native Americans. Today you can see America is a state is created by the migrants, and these Native Americans were expelled from the land. So this is what the story or the case of a migration in America and exploitation of Native Americans. So this Sherman Joseph Alexie write about this Native American society, or we can say it is not the exaggeration. We see here, see his novels, his short stories, or his poems. It is not an exaggeration if we say that he is a mouthpiece or he is a voice of a Native American which is suppressed by the white hegemony of migrant Americans. So we learn about Sherman Alexie. We will read it once again, the introduction of Sherman Alexie given in this text. See, Sherman Joseph Alexie, October 7, 1966, living author he is a prominent award-winning Native American poet. So this is also very important to understand. He is writing from the position, from the point of Native American. So, and that is very important to note here, especially when we are discussing about the poem Evaluation. We should understand the position, the point of the Alexi. And if when we understand that his point is a Native American, we can understand the poem very easily, because this very point changes the interpretation. As I told you, the historical truth is also changes from person to person, from nation to nation. So this is what, and this truth is also influenced by person to person. So this is the important thing we should note here. And when we try to understand a poem written by a Native American poet, we should understand that his context is a struggle between American and Native Americans. So we will read all these things and try to understand the most probable meaning of evaluation. So the Sherman Joseph Alexie is a prominent award-winning Native American poet, novelist, performer, and filmmaker. So he is a very prolific kind of author, prolific kind of a poet. So his writings draw on his experiences as an indigenous American, indigenous मूळ American with ancestry from several tribes. So this is also very important thing to note here, and as a result of that we can say his ancestry and his upbringing, his zeal for the Native Americans, his connection, affiliation to the Native American society make him one of the representative of Native American uh, society. So his books for poetry include Face, published in 2009, One Stick Song, published in 2000, The Man Who Loves Salmon, that is 1998, The Summer of a Black Widow, that is 1996, Water Flowing Home, 1995, Old Shirts and New Skins, 1993, First Indian on Moon, 1993, and Business of Fancy Dancing, 1992. So these are his poetry collections, and you can see the collection. You see the period of the collection. You can get it from 1992 to 2009. He wrote most of his poetry. So he is. You can say him as a contemporary author, and though he is a contemporary author, he is writing about Native Americans. He is emerging as a protest against the American hegemony on Native Americans, or the colonizers' hegemony on colonized. So as I told you, colonizer means who came there as a migrant and settled their colonies. If we think about India, you can see British came here as a migrant and they established their colony here, and afterwards they become the rulers of the land. Same thing happened in America also. You can see the Native Americans, they exploit them, they exploit the nature of America, and they build a nation. Today also you can see they were behaving, or we can say that most selfish nation of the world, America. So especially from Indian point of view, though we were very close today, or we were feeling that America is a friend of India, but that all these things are not true. You can see in recent period also, recent news also, you can understand that America is a very selfish partner of India. So this is what this Sherman Alexie is pointing at, pointing towards the uh, Americans who have exploited the Native Americans. His novel, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, that is published in 2007. So in this novel, also you can see most of his uh, biographical incidents were described. Won the National Book Award for Young People's Literature. So it is also received a very uh, it also receives very good response, as it gains a very prestigious award for National Book Award for Young People's Literature. Among his other honors and awards are a Poetry Fellowship from Washington State Art Commission, the National Endowment for the Arts. So he also received a fellowship that is called as the National Endowment for the Art. So this is what is Sherman Alexie. What we should consider, what we should keep in our mind while reading the evaluation is that Sherman Alexie is a Native American poet. He is writing from Native American point of view. He is a voice of Native American society who is exploited by the new settlers of America. So this is what the context of the poem Evolution, and we will read it and then try to understand the meaning of. The present poem is a narrative poem that describes the exploitation of Native Americans at the hands of Buffalo Bill through his pawn shop. He introduced centuries ago by white settlers. Alcohol made its a damaging mark on the Native American culture. He illustrates the systematic degradation of the Native American people and their culture. So this is what you can see is the situation. This is what the context of this poem. This poem deals the with the relationship between colonizer and colonized. So this American, these people who migrated to America, white settlers, you can see, they exploit Native American. They in fact try to destroy the Native Americans. So it is also very interesting fact to note about India also. You can see the case is same with these Native Americans and Indians. If we think about Macaulay or the Lord Macaulay, you can see a person came from England to see or India, judge it, judge the nation, and suggest how can a British government conquer it. So there are certain very impressive quotations he has given to us. See, I will read one quotation and we will understand the relationship between or how these colonial masters think about the natives. So this is also very important to understand because without understanding the relationship between the master and colonized person, we can understand the things. So I will read two small quotations from Macaulay, Lord Macaulay, and his opinions. In fact, these quotations are his opinions about India, and you can understand that how they treat us like animals, how they think about us, how they try to degrade or how they try to dismantle the cultural heritage that we have and systematically push their culture in our life. And today you can see most of us were the uh, Indians by color, by blood, were British by brain. So same. So this he has achieved. This he has achieved. What we were wearing today, we were not wearing dhoti and kurta. That is the traditional cloth we wear in previous to colonization. Even in every marriage ceremony, you can see a groom wear a coat and tie. Even in a very heavy summer, he wear a coat and tie. This coat and tie or the three-piece suit he wear is in fact a cultural representation of a British culture. It is not a representation of an Indian culture. It is a representation of a British culture. So this is what I am not against all these things, but you can understand that this is the systematic cultivation of British culture into India. So we cut the cakes on a birthday. That is also again a cultural transfer from British to Britain to India. So all there are many things you can understand from clothes, from thinking, everything you can see is from uh, India, from British. So let's read the two quotations that are written by Lord Macaulay about the. These are in fact the uh, uh, opinions opinion of this person about about India. I will read. I have traveled across the length and breadth of India, and I have not seen one person who is a beggar, who is a thief, who such a wealth I have seen in this country, such a high moral values, people of such a caliber that I do not think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this heritage, of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indians think that all that is foreign and good and greater than their own, they will lose their self esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. So this is what a Britisher, British colonizer, a colonial master is speaking about India. So what he want to break down, he want to break or he want to dismantle spiritual and cultural heritage of India. And how he do that? He suggested educational system. So again, in Macaulay's Minute in 1834, this Macaulay, Lord Macaulay published one document on educational policy of British government about India. I will read from that. We must at present do our best to form a class. This is the objective of a British education. We must at present do our best to form a class who may be interpreters between us and the millions whom we govern. A class of persons Indian in blood and color, but English in taste in opinions, in morals and in intellect. So this is what the objective of British education in colony. So this is what the same thing happened with these Native Americans. What they do, they dismantle the cultural heritage of Native American. So in this poem also represents this thought that how Americans or the how the settlers dismantled, destroyed the cultural heritage of a Native Americans. How one day these Native Americans sold their uh, spirit or soul to these American settlers. So this is what is the poem about. So this is the meaning of the poet. So we should read. We should keep all this in mind when we were reading the poem and when we were trying to understand it. I read you Macaulay's two opinions about India. You can see. Similarly, in Native American, all these things are true. What is written about India, the same moral value and all these things, the greatness of Native American culture is there. This Native American culture is destroyed systematically by the settlers of the colony. So we will understand as I quote these quotations from Macaulay because the situation is a similar one. Situation is a similar. Or when we think about a context of a diaspora, we can understand that most of the people, most of the settlers use this policy. What they do, they first settle a colony, first they form a colony there and then try to rule the uh, pub, mass there. So this is rule the nation in which they have settled the colony. So this is what the similar thing. We will read this poem first. We will take the aesthetic pleasure of it, and in the next session probably we will read the analysis of this poem. So see, Buffalo Bill opens a pawn shop on the reservation right across the border from the liquor store, and the stays open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And the Indians come running in with jewelry, television sets, a VCR, a full length beaded buckskin outfit. It look In's muse 12 years to finish. Buffalo Bill takes everything the Indians have to offer, keep it all catalogs and filed in a store strong room. or the storage room. The Indians pawn their hands, saving the thumbs for last. They pawn their skeleton, falling endlessly from the skin. And when the last Indian has pawned everything but his heart, Buffalo Bill takes that for 20 bucks. Closes up the pawn shop, paints a new sign over the old, call his venture the Museum of Native American Cultures, charges the Indians $5 a head to enter. So this is what the poem. So poem is very interesting. It is a descriptive poem, in fact, very easy to understand. A person called as Buffalo Bill opens a pawn shop. Pawn shop means where you can mortgage. You give uh, uh, something, or give some object to the pawn shop and get money from it. So this is a pawn shop. So Buffalo Bill opens a pawn shop near a liquor shop. These Native Americans came there, uh, came with the jewelry and all that they have. They mortgage it in a pawn shop and go for a drinking. So this is what the situation. This is what the thing described in this poem. It is full of imagery or full of metaphor. It gives you the brutality of a colonization. So we will stop here and continue the same in the next session. Next session, we will read the analysis of this poem. Thank you for listening.